So the commenter who said in my video, he said, "Hey, a little more volume, please." I'm like, "Hey, get you some volume." So if it's too loud, then you're just too old, I reckon, is what they say. Anyways, I got some stuff I want to show you guys about the new up and coming race war that the establishment is trying to conceive, because they understand that they couldn't get Trump's poll numbers down with the Epstein debacle. When you look into what's really going on, I think we're starting to unlock a few doors there. I really want to see some of that stuff released, and I think it's going to be all in due time, but there may be a whole lot more to that, and the reason why it's not been released yet. So I'm doing my best to stay positive and understand that there are bigger things behind the scene, and I hope very, very soon we'll see something about it. Now, Pam Bondi needs to start acting a little bit quicker on some of the stuff, although there is things happening behind the scenes there, so we're going to have a little bit of hopium. Now, let's move on to some of the things that are, I say, engineered race war for the next and upcoming debacle so far as the congressional cloggage, so that it keeps our president from being able to do things and move forward with the agenda that's America first. Here we go. It is. So we all know exactly what I'm talking about when we talk about the Cincinnati beatdown, where this white couple were assaulted by a mob of non-white people, and the sheriff comes out, who's this lady sheriff, could very well possibly be somewhat of a diversity hire. Has actually done some things related to being against her own race, which I advocate for people to advocate for themselves. But we're seeing a lot of white guilt still prevalent in this world right now, because of the fact that we think that if we do that, then it's going to maybe suffice a group of people who've been convinced to have a false sense of hate through social media activity. And white guilt won't fix it, guys. It just makes it worse. But education and understanding and Christian beliefs actually help with a lot of that, because if you can understand moving forward instead of living in the past, makes a huge difference. And so as we become a less Christian nation, and understanding that and thinking that holding grudges will fix everything, you'll soon see just how that all plays out into a negative and down spiraling event for societal collapse. So that by the way, a race war would be only beneficial to the globalist elite, by the way. Well, if you were to divide the country enough to where you have a group of people that hate another group of people, and those groups of people become agitated enough to where they come at each other, bro, then what you are looking at is an opportunity for a power grab amongst a third party, which we see that all the time when it happens to war between countries. When two countries go to war, there's a third group of people or a fourth group of people playing a 5D chess, you like that, and in a way to where they can maneuver a power structure around that. So be ready for that. So if you think that doing that would be beneficial, I'm sadly mistaken. Back to Cincinnati. They begged for that beatdown. I am grateful, says city council member, only celebrates vicious mob attacks assaulting the white people. While most of the country has erupted in outrage over the angry mob savagely assaulting these two white people in downtown Cincinnati over the weekend, one prominent local politician has the exact opposite reaction to the story. And it says here, a group of, we know this and such, I'm going to kind of skim through this, beat them so bad that he could not get up. Then the white woman got slugged by one of the cowards and her head slammed on the concrete, and then she lost consciousness. Blood was seen coming out of her mouth. The two people have been arrested. Not enough, by the way. Oh, by the way, another thing, too. Instead of a bunch of people calling the police and trying to intervene that way to stop this thing from happening, they all just got their phones out and videoed, which is pretty bad. They were more worried about social media clicks and updos. Not good. Bad society test. Well, bad for society, good test for AI to understand where the climate is so far as people and compassion and understanding. By the way, one is out on bail from previous charges that had done this. It's the Cincinnati mayoral candidate, by the way, Corey Bowman, has discovered something also quite disturbing. Victoria Parks, the Cincinnati Council's president, pro Tim, thinks this wicked mob was 100% justified in its actions. In fact, she openly celebrated these two poor tourists getting beaten up within an inch of their lives this week. And she says, they begged for that beatdown. I'm grateful for that. For the whole story, Parks wrote in response in a Facebook post. And we can expand this. Can I make this bigger? I'm gonna try to make it bigger here. Let's see if we can see this a little bit better, because this is wild, man. We are living in some very peril times. Not only did nobody call the police, but now we've got sitting council people that are in charge of policy in your daily lives in your community, and openly doing this. Let me go over to the next thing where it shows the post. Well, there we go. All right. Cincinnati, Arad Ford, they didn't have to do them like that. He was obviously drunk. They begged for that beatdown. I'm grateful for the whole story, Victoria Parks says. By the way, like I said, this is a sitting councilwoman in this area. Victoria Parks, you were on the city council and you made this statement like this. She goes, the woman who was punched didn't ask for this. Yeah, I mean, she was just trying to break it up. And I was always raised under the premise that it was not right to put your hands on anybody. Even in school, they were like, even if somebody puts their hands on you, you're not supposed to hit them back. You're supposed to tell the authorities. You're supposed to do something other than retaliate. And we're in a situation now where this guy was drunk. Yeah, he might have run his mouth a little bit, but then those people put their hands on him. He tried to defend himself. Things got really far out of hand, and things went crazy. Then the wife gets involved, and next thing you know, lo and behold, the Victoria Parks thinks that this is pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. And city councilwoman Victoria Parks, make that go viral. All right, so. That's just strange. Man, I'm telling you what, people are just so heartless nowadays. And by the way, this is all part of a manufactured race war that's culminating into the depths of society, much like the ooze from the Ghostbusters 2. As the ooze grew, so did the anger. The anger actually made the ooze grow, which was an exponential self-fulfilling prophecy of a detriment to society. Yeah, that was a thing. That movie, look that up. Ghostbusters 2, the second one, not the one where a bunch of lefty chicks played Ghostbuster people, but the one like the 80s, whenever the ooze in the tunnels. Anyway, so as that ooze got larger, the society got angrier, and then next thing you know, everything just went toppling over. The only way that it was fixed was a mass awakening of those people, and started to treat them, being more compassionate, happy feelings, genuine happiness. By the way, to do that, they had to play real music, not stupid music you hear nowadays where it's all stupid and digital and skinny jeans and stupid whatever. It was real music. Music now, all your art's been attacked, your visual aspects of life have been attacked through Marxist ideology, where you have this, the aesthetics that you look at are ugly, the music you listen to now is ugly, the food you eat nowadays is ugly, and it's all there to drive society in a negative manner, to where you actually thrive off these feelings of anger. And then it causes this situation, and it manifests in something way bigger than what you could ever imagine, which the third party is out there waiting for the right time to reach in there and grab that power and take over both sides of that society, and then use that as a way to hold you at the bounds of your evilness. Yeah, that's the thing. And there's a new oh, by the way, this is the headline, with how they stay in your truck before something bad happens. Video shows white workers using bulldozers to harass, threaten black truck driver on job site. I don't know the circumstances behind this, but this article probably would have never made headlines, except for it's just a way for them to continue with the narrative of driving people to be angry at another race so they can do exactly what I'm saying. Now, moving on to this. There was a mayor that was not a mayor, but a dude that had some gas poured on him, I think. Okay, here it is right here. And I had to do a little bit of research, but Republican Virginia city councilman was set on fire by a 29-year-old by the name of Shotsie Michael Buck Hayes. The problem you see right here is he's got too many names. A man with that many names, and he's just bound to be kind of nuts. That's a lot of stuff you got to spell on a piece of paper when you're in school. But this dude poured a 5-gallon bucket of gas on this dude right here, and then set him on fire. He is now airlifted to a burn center, and I think he it's hard to say whether or not he'll survive those injuries, because do you recall that one time that dude set himself on fire at a Trump rally thing? And he was on like a lot of fire, and they kept spraying him with a fire extinguisher to put him out, and he was alive through the whole thing. I remember the video of his wiener on fire. He's trying to put his penis out. No joke. I know that's weird, but I mean, I'm just letting you know. That guy survived that burn until he made it to the hospital, and during the treatment to try to, he died. He's not with us anymore. But anyways, that was a horrific event. So this could be one of those same situations where he's pretty bad off, even though he made it to the hospital. I haven't heard anything about that yet. But here's the guy who did that. Yeah. And they say it was not political, that this was a personal matter. I don't know. Most personal matters involve a woman most of the time. If you're going to do this is usually something over a girl. I'm just throwing that out there. And, maybe there was some sort of a triangle popping off there. That's a possibility. I'm just throwing that out there. I have no idea. Here is, I think, his current mug shot. Wednesday, yeah, this was him right here that done that. And so, yeah, that's very strange and tragic, by the way. And we'll find out more about that. And so that's the thing. Here's Cory Booker. Cory Booker? Who done this?
As people's due process rights. There's too much on the line right now in America. As people's due process rights and freedom of the speech rights and secret police are running around this country, picking people up off the streets who have a legal right to be here. There's too much going on in this country. In my opinion, without any kind of basis of being able to back this up, because I have no evidence other than the fact of I just know when somebody's on drugs by saying, I think the Adderall is starting to really, your third day on this stuff, your binge is really starting to show. You ever met somebody who eats a lot of Adderall? This is very, very indicative of that kind of behavior. As people's due process rights and freedom of the speech rights and secret police are running around this country.
And when he says secret police, by the way, when he mentions the word secret police, he's referring to ICE agents who are not secret police, by the way. They just wear face masks because they don't want to be attacked by lefty people who pour 5 gallons of gas on you and set you on fire over a lefty chick that's got no boobs. Yeah, that's who he's referring to. But what it'd be really nice is if this dude would actually address the real secret police that's moving around, all running through the guise of the Chinese Communist Party. That does exist. There was a raid on several secret police offices that were set up and being run in the United States to control and monitor Chinese citizens who were here. And because when you're in the Chinese when you leave China, you're never actually gone from China. You if you're in college or if you're got an intern working for a company here, your job is to report to some form of CCP counselor and give them daily reports of what you did, things you saw, and who you interacted with. Yes, and you also have to report on your colleagues as well. That's your job as a Chinese citizen. And if you're allowed at Chinese restaurants, if you want to run a Chinese restaurant, you're going to leave China and come up here. The Communist Party has a stake in that, by the way, or a cat. They have a cat in that. Maybe a cat, not a steak. A cat steak. But that's the secret police that people probably should be really focused on, not the ICE agents that are trying to do their job and protect this country and get rid of a bunch of really awful people who are committing terrible, 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 terrible crimes. And to wrap it all up real quick here, I want to explain to you guys that you need to be careful when you're smoking the weeds, because you could be this guy right here. Yeah, I think it's okay. He's gonna make it. I don't know what kind of business this is, but I decided that it was lunchtime and it was time to partake a little bit, kick it back, maybe scroll through a little bit of Twitter and Facebook to see what's popping off. Look at some Gateway Pundit, maybe see if there's a race war about to pop off, try to educate people on what's going on, try to keep the public safe, have hopeism. Yeah. Then you end up like that right there. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy. I'm out.